Hello, winners, and welcome to Two for the Win with your hosts, Nick and Will. Another wacky week in both college and NFL. Just when you think you got a handle on some of these teams, they surprise you, either good or bad. But before we jump into it, please be sure to subscribe, share, and follow Two for the Win on your favorite platform. And also want to give a shout out to Hard Rock Bet for sponsoring today's episode. You can find the link in the descriptions on whatever platform you visit to sign up for Hard Rock Bet. And I was flat this past week. So won some, lost some, but at the end of the day, I think it was like plus or minus a couple bucks either way. So it's no big deal. But how you doing this Friday, my friend?
Great. Hello, winners. Hello, Will.
Hello. All right. So obviously NBA season has kicked off. We won't talk much about it because the NBA season doesn't really start until after December, but some interesting early games. And of course, the scandal with the betting. We'll talk more about that as that becomes more well known. And we're in the midst of a World Series, and so we'll see how that goes. But so far, it's been an interesting World Series. But let's go into college football and anything from last week. I know you had a little bit of a mini heart attack with your Longhorns, but they pulled it out. But any particular games you want to start with from last week?
Well, we can start with LSU since the big news came from the loss.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So we both had LSU winning against A&M because we thought they need on the Saturday night game on Death Valley to do something. Otherwise, it's probably over for the coach. Well, they didn't make it, and it's over for the coach. So that's not surprising. I think that majority of people were expecting Kelly to have that last season unless they do something in the playoffs. Well, now they will not make to the playoff of 12 teams. So I understand. Again, some people call us the coach killer, I guess, but it just makes sense. If you have ambition and you state ambition year over year and you fail year over year, and then in the middle of the season your goal is already unachievable by the end of the year, well, what you're gonna do? Continue to ride it and call yourself like an elite team. So I think that those college start understanding, okay, why wait when we know it's over anyway? And let's send a message to our recruits, send a message to other coach. Hey, there's an availability here. LSU, Florida, for me are the two big opening. Of course, Penn State is not bad at all, but I think that Florida and LSU are two big names, big infrastructure, big money. And so any coach would love, I think to coach any of those two brands. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Yeah, I it was the way in which LSU lost at home that I think sealed his fate. And even with his assistant coaches, you saw some of the snafu, like the guys like eating in the press box, throwing a pass when there's no timeouts left in the first half for LSU. But that's on Kelly because he hired those assistant coaches, right? So, I think the kind of the sad thing about the Brian Kelly LSU experience is Brian Kelly left Notre Dame, and Notre Dame he brought back to decent. Even though I don't like Brian Kelly much as a coach, he brought him back. But the thing that I'll remember most about his LSU coaching tenure was when he first got hired. And he was doing those stupid 360 videos, dancing with his recruits. Like that's the thing you're going to remember. And it always seemed an odd fit, especially the way it kicked off. And but he's got 55 million reasons to not be too sad. So with his buyout or whatever his buyout ends up being, but again, I should have paid more attention in gym class and been a coach. But I think there were some surprises in different ways. I thought Indiana throttling UCLA was a surprise. Not that they won, but how much they won by. And then Alabama by the skin of their teeth holding on against South Carolina. South Carolina finally played like the team we thought they would be when we picked them in the preseason. But how about Ole Miss with a bounce back? They lost against Georgia that took out your rival, Oklahoma. That was a heck of a game. That was the game that I felt was the most compelling out of all the ones I watched this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss. My only concern I had going into the game is all the rumors about Lane Kiffin going to Florida. I think that's a done deal behind door. I mean, again, I have no sources, but my personal feeling, I think that's already signed. He's already there, but he cannot say nothing until they are eliminated from the playoff or eliminated in the playoff. That's his all-time dream. We saw a bunch of video of him stating that his ultimate goal is Florida Gators. He said that when he was an assistant coach at Alabama. Um, I mean, no, it's literally open. I mean, he do a fantastic job with Ole Miss, but Ole Miss will never be the Gators, brand-wise. And a guy like Lane Kiffin, the way he recruit in small school Ole Miss compared to the other one is fantastic. So imagine what he could do with a Gator. So I personally really think that that he's gonna be gone. So that's what I was thinking. Maybe with all of that, they may have a reaction on the field, but it wasn't like they beat Oklahoma over there, which is never easy to do. And no, who knows? No, who knows? I mean, that would be an amazing. I don't see it 100%, but that would be an amazing story if he could win the championship and then move to Florida.
Oh my gosh, yeah, yeah. But I think Ole Miss, you're right. They don't have the resources of Florida. Certainly don't have the brand of Florida. But my guess is they're gonna throw a king's ransom at him to try to get him to stay. But I just don't see it. I mean, when you think about that Florida pipeline of talent, that's tough to pass up. Tough to pass up, even though the SEC is obviously really challenging. But now, I mean, it almost doesn't matter because the way they got the setup without the divisions, like it's just a tough division. Conference, I should say, to work through. I will have to give a shout out to Vanderbilt. They continue on their win streak, and they're going to be. They were ranked number 10 at the time. My guess is they're going to.
I know. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, kudos to them. I mean, here's a school again. If you ever wanted evidence of the impact of nil, look at Vanderbilt because they have been nothing in football forever. Now they're able to pay some talent. Vanderbilt is actually a very well esteemed educational school. It's like right up there with the Ivy League schools in terms of educational prowess. So, they've had some alumni who have gone on to do well, and they're putting the money in the football program, and it shows.
I know, and like Coach Saban says, like it used to be Vanderbilt, the one team in the SEC that we can relax with and try out some players because it's not going to be competition. It's not the case anymore.
I know, which is
I mean,
another
guess
reason
who
why
they play
Pittman
next?
retired. Yeah,
Guess who they
yeah.
play next?
Oh, yeah, yeah, there you go. So let's pivot to that. Let's look ahead. So thoughts on that matchup?
We have no business winning that game. In all honesty, I'm just being honest and fair. We play really, really bad football. I think that it's not only that we play bad football. I think that we don't have the players for like I expected. I will say I instead of we. I expect the beginning of the season. Expectation was to have an all-time high defense. The defense at time are fantastic. At time they're nowhere to be found. I think it has. This is really the clear signal. The defense play how the team plays. So when we start playing better, when the O line who is non-existent shows some sign of life, the defense is on another level. But when the O line are existent, or wide receiver and tight end drop passes, then the defense react like they don't know how to play either. So that's really like the way we see as a team sport. It's really that. I think that if we click better in offense, but I don't think it's possible. That's the thing. As a Texas fan, I'm on all those platforms, and you hear all the time, bench Arch Manning. I'm like, what do you want this kid to do? He has like less than 2 seconds to throw the ball. And they said, well, he run around. Yeah, because he run for his life. He cannot do nothing else. He literally, I saw many snaps last week in Mississippi State where he get the ball, and less than a second later, a guy's already touching him like with his hand, like to try to catch him. So he has to scramble and take a knee pretty much. So I'm really happy with Arch again last Saturday. I mean, he had 65% completion, 300 40 plus yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown with no O-line and with 3 huge drops from wide receiver and a tight end. I mean, what else can he do? You can put anyone behind that line. It's going to be a hell. But again, the resilience to come back and win 2 games now in a row away from home at SEC team. Yes, no Georgia, no Florida, no, big brand team, but it's still a SEC team. And we go win back-to-back game away from home. And we just played 4 weeks in a row away from home. So we will be back home in Austin Saturday, tomorrow, and we play Vandy. So which Texas team are we're gonna see? But Vanderbilt should win this game based on their the way they play, the way they perform, the way that Pavia play as a quarterback. I mean, that's impressive. So I will root for my Longhorns, but I would be shocked if they win that game. Now, if they win this game, then all the theory is back, So we'll see. It's gonna be an interesting one, I think.
Well, at the time of this recording, Texas is favored by 3.5 because they are playing at home.
Yeah.
But I agree. If you go based on the eye test, you'd have to give the edge to Vanderbilt. But, you would know better than anybody else. It's not easy for teams to come into Austin and pull out a win. So it wouldn't shock me for Texas to win either. They really need to win this to really, I think, have a shot to get back into the top 12. I will say one thing though. How about Vandy's quarterback? He said if he win the game that he would set up a date between Theo Vaughn and his mom, and he delivered. So I don't know. You got to be careful what you say. I don't know if you'd want Theo Vaughn as your father-in-law. Nothing against Theo Vaughn, but he's an interesting character. So anyway, yeah.
I think you won his bank account.
Yeah. So it was Vanderbilt beat South Carolina. Theo Vaughn got to date his mom. He'd set it up, and he did. So there you go. How about that for a little pop culture or fun reference and stuff? Miami, I'm going to be eager to see how they bounce back. They play at SMU. That to me is another trap game, just like you successfully called out the Louisville one. I could see Miami losing this one, but they're favored by 10.5. Curious on your thoughts. Do we see the Canes from the first previous 6 weeks, or do we see the Canes from Louisville?
I think they win that game. I think SMU this year are really underwhelming. I know they won a couple of games like last minute, but I don't see them really beating the U. I mean, Louisville, they were 4-1, so it was an upset, but Louisville were playing very well. SMU, I don't see the same thing. I don't see how they could beat the Canes. So I would give the edge to Miami.
All right. Yeah, I think so as well. And then the only other 2 ranked matchups, because believe it or not, Ohio State, Penn State is unranked. So who would have thought that before the season started? But the only other 2 ranked matchups, Oklahoma at Tennessee and Rocky Top, and Cincinnati at Utah. So some interesting matchups. Oklahoma's 18, Tennessee 14, Cincinnati 17, Utah 24. So kind of ramifications for some of these fringe playoff contenders. How do you see those games going out?
I mean, I really like the Cincinnati-Utah game. I mean, as everybody knows, I picked Utah before the season start to win the Big 12. They lost against Texas Tech and then BYU. Last week, they put 46 or 48 points at the half at Colorado. That's pretty impressive. Their defense are always good. But Cincinnati, their offense, I mean, if they get half a decent defensive team, watch out. This is another team who transfer tons of senior offensive players. They cannot be stopped. Like, the problem is their defense, but offensively. So the way that Utah had the shootout last weekend at Colorado and the way that Cincinnati had shootout every game, I mean, you need to take the over on that game. I know Utah defensively are way better than the team that Cincinnati played so far, but they struggle against Texas Tech, who have also a dynamic offense. So I think they will put points both ways. So it's going to be an interesting game. That's definitely one. And for Tennessee, Oklahoma, I think Oklahoma showed their limits against Texas and now against Ole Miss. I see a Tennessee winning the game at home against, again, offensively, Tennessee, they're excellent with that Puerto Rican quarterback that they have, Aguilar. So
Yeah.
he throw as many touchdowns as picks almost, but it's gonna be a high scoring game, and I think Tennessee will win that game.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think Tennessee should win the game, but they're another team, kind of like Miami. Sometimes they just don't, or like Penn State, they just don't deliver on the big game. It wouldn't shock me to see Oklahoma go in there and squeak out a win. But the Cincinnati, I haven't really, in full transparency, been following Cincinnati much, but their quarterback, 20 touchdowns, one interception. I mean, that's mistake-free football. 20 touchdowns, one interception for Sorsby of Cincinnati. Yeah, that's going to be a fun game to watch. The over-under, just for since my co-host mentioned it, is 57 and a half. So they might have that by halftime between those two teams. That should be interesting.
Exactly.
Any other thoughts on the games with Penn State, Ohio State, or you want to shift to the NFL?
No, Penn State, Ohio State, that's not going to be a game. Ohio State defense are standing. They're going to shut them down very fast, I think. Love is the guy that they need to shut down, the running back. And once they do that, it's over, I think. So I don't see anything there. And I want to just say a word about Indiana, like you mentioned. They are for real, man. They are literally for real. I dubbed them beginning of the season. I thought it was a fluke last year, but they proved me wrong big time. And they are consistent. They play great football. They can prepare to those games. I mean, going to win at UCLA and Oregon the way they did, that's really impressive. And beating Illinois at home. I know Illinois were hurt, but still by 3 touchdowns, they are for real.
Yeah, who would have thought? Indiana, long known as a basketball school, even though they haven't really been relevant in college basketball for a while. But that's another one about the nil, and I think about the program building. So you look at Vanderbilt, you look at Indiana, two teams in the top 10 who are, I mean, for all intents and purposes, new to the top 10. I know Indiana was there last year for a bit, but they're in uncharted waters, and just goes to show the changing landscape in college football. It's going to be year by year. Just
Yeah.
really kind of depends. It's crazy. All right, so moving on to the NFL. I don't know what to make anymore of the NFL season. You got the Jets beating the Bengals at home, or Bengals were at home. You have the Dolphins out of nowhere beating, no offense to people who may suffer from this condition, but Atlanta's the most bipolar team in the NFL. Like, you don't know. Let me call him Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. What team you're going to get? Bears come in on a 4-game winning streak, play the Ravens without Lamar Jackson, get spanked 30-16. I just don't know what to make of this season anymore with some of these teams. It's just crazy. But your thoughts about last week?
Yeah, I'm glad that I I stay away from betting for a while because I would have lose my underwear again last weekend. And I was smiling. I was like, "Gang God," because all the thing I thought was gonna happen, like, unfortunately, just my Cowboys happened because I was expecting them to lose big at Denver. But for the rest, I really. It's funny because before the 1 p.m. game start, we text each other and we said we felt very, very confident about our upset picks, and we had
Yeah, we did none of them.
no,
Yeah.
nothing at all. And I was so confident about my 2 picks. I mean, I was really very, very, very confident about them. And one was close, but that's about it. And now I just don't know. Like, Cincinnati, I was the most upset about that game because I really believe that if Burrow can come back the last 2 games of the season and they are still in the running, that Cincinnati would be a very hard team to beat. I don't care about their defense because offensively, I repeat, no one can slow them down. When you see they score 30 plus points with Flacco, like 2 times, with Flacco, 2 times the last 3 games. if they have Burrow, they score 50 plus easy. And it's hard to beat a team more consistently putting numbers on the board. And again, they lost Henderson again. So they really had nothing in defense yesterday. But the way they lose against the Jets is unacceptable. And they had a chance to go back to 50%. And
Yeah.
no, I think that game may be may will call their faith on that one. So we'll see the Chicago. Atlanta, you're right. Atlanta, I don't understand. Like they lose by 30-0 in Carolina. They lose at home now against nobody, against Miami. And yeah, so it makes nothing makes sense. Like I don't know what's happening. Houston killing San Fran. I mean, that
Well,
was
San
literally.
Fran's got so many injuries. I
Yeah,
mean,
but they always got injuries. They usually pulled it off. So I was really, really, really confused last weekend. But hey, that's why we play the games. But I have no idea. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like Patriots consistent, Indianapolis
all them.
consistent.
We call the
Other than
Patriots.
that, there is no consistency. I
Yeah,
mean,
they.
you're consistently winning as well. So I think outside those teams, who I don't know.
I know. The Falcons. There's two teams after last weekend I'm never betting on again, and it's the Falcons and the Bears. I mean, the Bears. I've been playing pretty nice with the Bears, being a Packer fan and big rival, and there's some people who listen to the podcast who are Bears fans, including some of my extended family. But that's a joke. And if I have to hear any more about Caleb Williams, or if I have to hear about another Bears Super Bowl win in the offseason, like just shut up, fan base. Like I know I'm blessed with good quarterback play in Green Bay, but there's a reason why they do it. They do the old draft and develop. And I know you're not a fan of Love.
I don't think he's good. Even after last week, I'm
I
still
don't
not.
know. I know.
He
I
missed
know
two
you keep
open
saying that, but
touchdowns. He missed two
uh,
down, and he just had luck that the guy had like 200 yards after catch. That's how he makes his
what's your
goal.
definition of luck? When preparedness meets opportunity, he practices those off-platform throws. That was all skill. But anyway, all I'm saying is with the Bears fans, just shut it. And until
I agree.
McCaskey sells the team, you're cursed, or anyone related to McCaskey. So
We need to say
shut it.
something about Skattebo, though.
Yeah. Skattebo, that one hurt. I think for those who follow football, you probably saw the Jackson Dart reaction, which just goes to show the type of connection they had. And we've obviously talked about Skattebo and Dart, the fun. We also tongue in cheek were like the way Skattebo plays. You got to enjoy him as long as you have him. But that was a freak tackle. That wasn't like Skattebo doing something reckless. That was that. But yeah, that's a rough one because I think they have moxie. Jackson Dart and Skattebo. That's the word that comes to mind when I think of those two guys with the Giants. They're bringing moxie, and they're bringing it. You lost neighbors, to injury, and they're still like, we don't care. And there were even flickers, like after the emotional aspect of what happened to Skattebo. The Giants, tried to make a run at it. Um, but that one hurts, and it hurts the NFL because the NFL they need some young stars to keep coming up. They have some potential people, but that's I think one of the problems with the NBA. Most of their stars are, uh, you think about the NBA and they're still focusing on LeBron and MJ and these things, and it's like at some point you need the face, even if it's a European face, you need a face of the league. And I thought the Giants were they were a fun team with those two, but now I think with Skattebo going, I don't know. They just don't have the same flavor. But what was your thoughts with it?
Yeah, I agree. Of course, as a Cowboys fan, I cannot like the Giants. I don't like the Giants, but this year I enjoy watching them. Because they're just fun to watch. Like I can say that as a Cowboys fan. I don't think I can ever say that against Philadelphia. But about the Giants, yes, I can definitely. I would be happy if I'm a Giants fan right now because you have a young rising quarterback, a young rising like wide receiver with neighbors, a young rising running back. I mean, that's something. And then you have a fantastic D-line, young D-line that is grown to continue to improve and get better at and stuff. So literally you have the foundation of a team for the next 8 years. And so you have to be happy about this, but you lose your wide receiver. Now you lose your running back. So touch wood for Dart. He's not next, but it's really weird the way things are falling. And I'm afraid a little bit because if they start losing every game, they will be high in the draft. Who knows if they pick another great O-line, if they have one or two O-line guy and a tight end on offense, what can you do against that team? So that's
Yeah.
going to be interesting.
Yeah, I definitely think the Giants are on the rise. And did you see? I didn't see. How long do they project Skattebo to be out with the broken ankle?
It dislocated ankle. So now they're gonna analyze to see. Normally, when in this dislocation, he was already putting back because you saw when he was on the thing that ankle was already putting back. So
Yeah.
now it's gonna be ligament wise. Usually when that happens, you have ligament tear or ligament like extended. At least if it's extended, he's lucky, but he's out for the season. He's not gonna
Yeah,
come
yeah.
back either.
But I
But
mean, he should be back next year.
if his ligaments are tore, depending how bad it was, because we will know the extent after X-ray. But he should be able to come back at some point next year. If it's not completely tore, maybe even beginning of the season. But this year is over. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I hear you. One thing I want to mention because obviously Packers played Aaron Rodgers in the Steelers uniform. I thought the announcing did pretty good. Like they were mentioning about all the far or the Rodgers jerseys, both Green Bay and Pittsburgh in that stadium. But I want to give a shout out to two elements. Actually three. I'm sorry. Tucker Kraft announced himself. I mean he's giving me the vibes of Travis Kelce. I'm not saying he's Travis Kelce, but he this is his third year. It looks like they have something special at tight end. That's all I'll say about that. The Christian Watson coming back for the first game, 4 catches, 85 yards. But the thing that really impressed me is blocking. Like when you saw him, I don't know if you paid that close attention, but blocking on the edge to both free up Tucker Kraft and Josh Jacobs on that tutter. Um, I was impressed with Christian Watson's blocking, and you got him now. Golden hurt his ankle, or he's hurt his hip. But can you imagine Golden and Watson on vertical routes for the Packers with their speed when they're fully healthy? It's gonna be fun. The last shout out I want to give is to my Packer Nation. When you hear "Go Pack Go" in Pittsburgh Stadium, Pittsburgh has a proud fan base. You look at Pittsburgh, San Francisco, Dallas, Green Bay. They're teams that travel. Their fan bases travel well. They're through thick and thin. The fact that in the first quarter you could hear "Go Pack Go" chants, and Aaron Rodgers admitted he had to go silent count a couple times. Shout out to Packer Nation taking those tickets were going for $1,200. Like the Steeler people, season ticket holders made a lot of money this past weekend because they sold a lot of tickets to Packer fans, and it was something to see. So shout out Packer Nation.
Yeah, shout out to Tiffany, one of our listener who was in the stadium yesterday with her husband and friends. So great game to pick as a Packers fan, I guess. So so shout out to her to be there. And yeah, I think Packers, we know they travel really well anyway. Like when we were in the Cowboys, it was the same. I think I think the Cowboys, the Packers, definitely those who travel, Pittsburgh Steelers, those teams usually travel very well. Patriots. Good job. I agree with Kraft. Kraft is good. He doesn't have Mahomes to throw him the ball, but right now he's phenomenal. And I was wondering yesterday, you may know what's happened there, but I thought the last 2 years you had another tight end like with a Monsrave. What was his name?
Oh yeah,
You
yeah, 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 yeah,
You
yeah.
had another tight end who was so good. It was supposed to be, and where is he at now?
He's
Uh,
second string. because he got hurt the first year. So they're both rookies. Tucker Kraft was actually drafted around later than him, and he got hurt. And he actually started off well as a rookie, got
Yeah.
hurt, and Tucker Kraft never looked back, grabbed the job and never looked back.
Ah,
It's
well,
incredible.
that's impressive because I remember I liked that guy. He was even in my fantasy league a couple of years ago, I think. So yeah, you guys have a tight end for locked in. That's for sure. I really like him as well. Wilson, I'm not sure because he's always hurt, so I don't count on someone who is always in and out, in and out. So I'm not sure. I mean, in best case scenario, you love all your players for each team if they all healthy, but we need
Yeah.
to look at the history, and that's not something I think is there. But
Yeah.
yeah, let's move on because when we have fun, the time flies. Let's move on to our upset picks.
Well, after a couple of rebound weeks, we went back to a little cold stretch, and we both did not win a single upset pick last week. Again, I will never put any faith in the Bears again. Shame on me for even thinking so. But yeah, so I think I carry over the first hit off the tee again, even though we both got skunked last
Yep.
week. And the first one I'm going to take is I'm going to take the Commanders. Seahawks go to Washington.
Oh,
Washington, I mean, I don't know. Washington at home. I think Seattle plays better away than at home. But the way this year goes, this is a game Seattle should win. So that's why I'm taking Washington. But go ahead. You can go.
here we go. I take the Bills against the Chiefs. I'm shocked that the Chiefs are favorites to go win at the Bills. I'm literally shocked. The Bills, yeah, they play one shady game, but they still have for me the best quarterback in the league. They still have a great running game. I know that everybody go back on the Chiefs bandwagon now that they have Rice back and the UT guy. Oh my lord.
Worthy?
Yeah, Worthy. So I think but I still have the Bills winning this game. And then my second pick is I'm not very confident about this one, but I will take the Raiders, Vegas to win at home against the Jaguars because Jaguars is one of those teams as well that you don't know really which Jaguar you will have. I think Jaguars are superior team wise, but I'm gonna pick the Vegas Raiders to beat them.
Yeah, I think Vegas needs this win just because otherwise I think you have to really start questioning, are they building the right kind of program? So I actually like that pick, especially Jacksonville having to fly to the West Coast. I'll wrap up with an honorable Skattebo pick. I am going to take, even though it hurts, it kills me that Skattebo is out. I'm taking the Giants to win at home against the 49ers. Right now, I would call this is probably dating. You might not even know this pop culture reference. This is the MASH game. So MASH was that war story. You know that series? Okay, yeah. So 49ers injured, Giants obviously injured, but give me the Giants at home.
Yeah, I think it's possible, even though I think that the quarterback comes back, but the quarterback is not really the problem, I think. But you're right. Yeah.
Yep. All right, winners, that'll do it for this Fanatic Friday. Thanks again, and please be sure you subscribe, share, and follow 2 for the Win on your favorite platform. And also check out Hard Rock Bet in the link below. Hey, you got a 50-50 chance of almost any bet, it seems like lately. So why not, right? But check out Hard Rock Bet. That'll do it for this week. We'll see you next week, winners. Take care.
Bye, winners.